Hello, welcome all. It's just great to be here. The amount of people I've met today who are all top of their tree, huge welcome to you all. What an amazing event that you've put together. Thank you, Sachin, for putting such a great event and getting all the top people within our industry all in one room. We very rarely get to do this, but this is a huge celebration. So let's enjoy the evening. We are going to start today by talking about a few challenges, and then we want to give a very balanced view about where the industry is going. And I've got a great panel here who are going to help me talk about the industry. So we will start with, I think, which is currently our biggest challenge within the industry. And Anjan, we had a little chat about this. So work permits, in my view, and Anjan's, is probably the biggest challenge currently. So 2 questions to you. First one is, please tell us how you scaled up and did such a phenomenal expansion in India. And the second question is, what are the challenges that you've had trying to replicate what you did in India in the UK?
Thanks, Sanjay. Thank you very much, Restaurant India, for having us here. And good evening to ladies and gentlemen here. So everybody who's got the mic and who is known to be a successful restaurateur speaks about all the good things. But I can tell you one thing, Sanjay, that it's been a back-breaking, everybody knows about this, but still, it's been 30-odd years that we've been running restaurants. It's been a dream that we will come to London one day. Without having to say anything, scalability is something which is all about how you ensure that a brand which has a consistency, and that is something, the most difficult thing. You have a restaurant, it's difficult, but once we have around 148 restaurants all over the world, which is London being one, and in the Gulf we have around 9 of them, and the rest of India we have 24 cities. So it's been a backbreaking work schedule, everything put together, but then at the end of it, it's all about the fact that how focused you are. There are revered people who are sitting here, all successful gentlemen coming in from the industry, but what we have learned is that over a period of time, I have a book of mistakes that we have done. The first one was fine. When we scaled it up and took it from Bombay to Bangalore was very challenging because, you know, you're doing fine casual. Everything cannot be pre-sauced or can't come from the commissary. So every replication made us learn many more things coming in. And I can say this to you that today where we are, it's because of the fact that the team worked very hard. We have got method in the madness. Technology has helped us tremendously. And backing it up, some way or the other, I mean, I can't say everything we did was right, but it's been a good time. And back on London, which you asked me about, it was a passion project. It was a dream to be in the city of London. As you know, that's the Mecca. I had decided when my children were studying here that we'll come to this city, but we didn't come out and offered mainland China here, but we came out and we propagated an extension of O Calcutta, which was a little different kind of food within India. So it's regional cuisine of India, and most of you know about O Calcutta, so this is 2.0, and I think that God has been kind. We've been steady. Of course, of late, things are not so good. So you also asked me about the fact that how did we come in here. At the time we came in here, just post-pandemic, people were allowed to come here. We could hire the chefs to be authentic. you need to have people who are working with you over a period of time, and they understand the culture of the organization and the food itself, the ingredients. So I have believed that food has to be honest. I couldn't be having a kosha mangsho, which is a very popular dish of ours, with some truffle oil sprinkled there. So there are, experiments which keep on going, with due respect. But it's been a tough time in London because we've not been able to replace our people. We've not got anything happening. A second restaurant, which I was telling you some time back, which was the main in China, in Ealing, was we almost signed it up, but then we don't have people to run it. So that's where we are.
Thank you. So, of course, as well as having all these challenges, nothing goes away from the fact that you really want to put your brand in the world stage, you have to open a restaurant in London. And I'm sure everyone gets inspired by London. You want to have the best of any cuisine, whether it's Chinese, Japanese, Sri Lankan, Indian, whatever the cuisine may be, London has the best to offer. And thank you, Sachin, for doing the event here, because you couldn't have taken it to a better place than London. But yes, it does have its challenges. National insurance contributions have been hit, minimum wage 4 times in the last 2 years. So there are challenges, but the people that are top of the tree and the people that are in this room today all somehow survive and come out of the other side smelling like roses. So we are resilient and we will continue to fly that flag. But whilst we're talking about where the industry is going, I'd like to bring Kate into the conversation, Kate. Firstly, thank you for being one of the sponsors, because without sponsors, these kind of events would never take place. We really appreciate that. But we were talking about Asian sources. Maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't profess to be an Indian expert, I'm afraid. But yeah, we're working for Nestlé Professional. We obviously have the Maggi brand within our portfolio. And one of the things that we've noticed, certainly in more recent years, is there's been a very big surge in world cuisines. We're obviously seeing a lot more ethnic diversity in the country. And we're seeing that along with Indian, you're seeing Asian sources, Asian cuisine rising as well. And one of the beauties of working with a global company is that you can tap into factories within those countries, and you can bring authenticity to the market. So we've actually got some Indian sources that are about to launch. They're coming directly from our factory in India, so you've got the ingredients from source, and they're really authentic, which is much different to how you could manufacture if you were manufacturing in the UK, for example. So going back to that, the kind of skill shortages, it means that you've got semi-made sauces that are ready to go. You can still crave on that authenticity, but you don't need as many skills in the kitchen, which is a challenge for many operators at the moment.
Well, thank you, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
That part of the industry keeps growing, and every time you walk into Marks and Spencer's or you walk into Tesco's and you see these different ranges, and again, like Indian restaurants have evolved, that is a sector I think is going to have a lot of growth, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Samir, I'd like to bring you in at this stage. Firstly, congratulations on your Michelin star.
Thank you.
I think that deserves a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's for the team who is working intensely hard back where I'm speaking here, not working hard enough.
Yeah, my question to you is, when you joined, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were not a Michelin star. You were, and then you lost it, and then you regained it. Talk me through that process, because I know the amount of hard work that goes into achieving something like that. I want to hear your journey, and I want to also hear where you get inspired from. You told me about this story about you getting your chefs, but I want everyone to hear that story.
Before even I start, Thank you, Restaurant India Congress, for inviting me and speak. I'm blessed to be sharing stage with such a legend. I mean, first, Michelin star is not an individual identity. It is for the team, with the team, and it's the team who brings it. When I was starting my career, it was all about European food and you know how beautiful it is and what European food can bring to your identity. I managed to work with all the chefs who every time I dreamt of working with, likes of Pierre Kaufman, Michel Roux, and on and on and on. But everything changed when the day I decided to switch on to cooking my mother cuisine, which is Indian. It not only gave us a Michelin star, but it gave us a perspective of a nouvelle thinking. I think it's the best cuisine in the world today, by far. I vote for that. It not only gave me confidence, it also gave us identity, that we are not behind. Today, I work at Banaras Restaurant, I cook at Banaras Restaurant, and this institution is now 23 years, standing strong. I mean, it's all about evolution. My cuisine is nothing short of evolution. Every year, we evolve ourselves. We learn, we make lots of mistakes, but we make sure we are learning, we are having fun. Now, coming back to your question, what food and why? I think the biz behind the plate, when we talk about that plate, which we put in front of the world, and in this difficult world where it's so difficult, labor is the biggest problem, and we cannot get, like we already discussed, I'm not going to go through, that work permits are a problem. Every dish in my menu is designed by my team. So they bring their home cooking, and we develop from there. Primarily, it's very difficult to travel today. It saves us travel. It saves us lots of things. And when one of my chefs brings that food and it is developed and it's in the menu card, there is no big accolade than that. And I think we are blessed to have such an amazing team.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, keep it going, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Samson, I think there isn't anyone in this room that doesn't know Samson Sohail. And if they don't, my God, you shouldn't be in this industry. I don't think there's anyone from Scotland to Bournemouth that doesn't know Samson Sohail. He's such an inspiration for the entire industry, and how he finds time and how he remembers everybody's names is just beyond my understanding. But Samson, my question to you is this. But before I put the question to you, there's a little statistic that I want to share with everyone. So when we analyze our 5 restaurants and we look at our reports, and this is a fact, year on year, the most selling item on our menu is not rice or naan or chicken tikka like we would all think. It's Cobra Beer.
Thank you.
So huge congratulations to Cobra Beer for having achieved such immense success, and to congratulate you on supporting the industry. Every award ceremony I go to that is connected to the industry, you support it. But tell us about your journey and how you made Cobra the #1 Indian beer in the country.
Thank you, Sanjay. It is true, you know, the cream of the industry is here today. A lot of friends. It's the vision of Lord Karan. Everybody knows he's the icon of the industry. So I got a privilege to work with him. Cobra was launched 1990 and 1989, but we always say 1990. And I joined 1993. So it's a very long journey. It's very simple idea when he was student. Simple idea he picked up there should be one beer which can go with food. Because mostly European beer, with all due respect, gassy. So he has come up with this idea, has to be not gassy, smooth. So that's the simple, secret behind, which has taken a long journey to develop, and the rest of is a history. And that's why, Sanjay, what you said, the Cobra drinkability has more than any other beer. And spice and beer goes together, where the spice and the beer is there. So that's why Cobra, people drink more than any other beer. It's a good journey. I traveled all over UK. I used to do, when I joined Cobra, I remember, 60 to 65,000 miles in a year I used to do. And just, any restaurant, when I find information, I just go and knock a door. I say, I'm from Cobra. And thanks, all the restaurant, they supported us. If they don't believe in us, and if they don't support us, Cobra never be there where it is today. So thank you to every one of you. Without your help, Cobra cannot be successful. So thanks making a household name. Cobra is a household name now. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Samson. But I have another question for you. And these are statistics that I took, as all people do, a little bit of research. In 2016, there were 12,000 South Asian restaurants in the country. Currently, there are just over 8,000. So there's been a bit of a decline in the last 10 years. And yet, Cobra has held that number one position, and their sales have grown, and you as a company have flourished. Talk me through that, because you would assume that when the demand is going down, how did you counteract that?
Thanks, Sanjay. This is a very good question, which all the media even and whole industry always talk, the Indian restaurants and the pubs also, going down. But the good thing is now is a quality, not a quantity. If you look at, all of you, any new restaurant open, they really put a lot of efforts. If we go to 1980 or 1990, that was beginning of Indian food, people were getting craze. And, one chef, or maybe with all due respect, kitchen porter and one waiter, if they have a money, they put together, open a one restaurant, and the boom. Because, it was big craze of Indian food, curry. And if you remember, these days, we used to have a Vindaloo. You can't find any more Vindaloo. You used to, people sell a lot of Bombay duck. Nobody's selling now. But now the food quality is unbelievable. And what Sanjay, you said, and what Sameer, you said, and I think everybody's agree on that, the best restaurant in UK and in London. I traveled globally, because my role, but the quality of the food and the restaurant ambience and the deco, you can't beat anywhere in the world. So that's, the reason. Yes, the number of restaurants have declined, no doubt, but the quality restaurants are now in the market. That's, which is true. And thanks to our industry, people, our consumer basically has been educated. They know about what food is, what Indian food is. It's not even anymore chicken tikka, but they do know what food quality is. That's why all the good restaurants are keep opening more and growing. But yes, the restaurant who are not professionally run by people, it's very hard for them to survive. For as you said, as a Cobra Beer, how we are maintaining our volume and our sale. About few years back, I will say 10 years back, we start to realize that yes, there will be time when the market will slow down, and we started outside Indian restaurant, and Cobra is available now, Thai, Chinese, Indian, any South Asian, wherever the food is, Cobra is available. So that's why we keep growing despite even the Indian restaurants are slowing down.
Thank you, Samson. And again, very well done for that, to have the vision to ensure that you put your energies in the right place and continue that growth, even though there's been a bit of a decline. I'll go into a little bit of why I feel there's been a decline, and maybe we need to send a very strong message out, but I'll come to that right at the end. But you're right about the professionalism. Many years ago, you wouldn't hear of an Indian restaurant. They would say, my God, Michelin star, Indian restaurant won't get it. They don't deserve it. But God damn it, the most hardest food to cook is Indian food. And why the hell should we not get a Michelin star? The amount of prep work that is required in making a curry properly, it takes a couple of hours just to get the base sauces right. And I just think that all the food guides and the Michelin star and all the professional people are waking up to the fact of how good Indian food is. Yes, perhaps we had to work very hard on how we're presenting it, but now, today, we're definitely not number 2 to any French restaurant. But with that still professionalism in mind, Kate, I'd like to bring you in again, if I may, because you have in your company an initiative of getting youth involved. Unfortunately, our government doesn't do enough, especially for the Indian sector, to give us colleges, universities, to educate the youngsters. But you have an initiative, don't you?
Yeah, so across the globe, we do various programs with youth employment. And particularly in the UK, we do something called the Top Door competition. And that is very much, certainly, it's in its 38th year this year, so it's been going for longer than I have, I wish. But it's been going for a number of years. And what we've noticed, particularly since COVID, is the industry has become less attractive to get people into work. But actually, it's such an amazing industry. I absolutely adore it. So what we do is we work with a number of culinary colleges around the country. We bring them in, we take them through a competition. We open them up to all of these new experiences, both front of house and back of house. And they get to go through this competition under immense pressure as well. And it just opens them up to not only being a great chef, but also the business behind being a chef as well and running a restaurant. So it's a really unique platform, and one that we have a responsibility, as the size of the company that we are and the things that we're looking to do, we have a responsibility to give that back to the industry as well.
Well, thank you, and I hope other big companies take note of that. I know we have some big companies in-house here today. Lauren Perrier, perhaps you could do an initiative. Coca-Cola, Samir, maybe you should put this up. Global Foods, a company that have just started, maybe you can help with this. And Ashley, HoReCa, I know you're in the room. Tilda, of course, thank you for what you do. But these are the kind of initiatives I think that the bigger companies should get involved with, because if the government is not doing it, this is how we can help help the industries, because our margins, and I'd like to bring you both gentlemen into this, is where our margins, I feel, really suffer. If you look at Europe, the maximum VAT rate on hospitality is 10%. It's 8 to 10%, and we are double. So that's 10% just gone straight. How do you tackle that, and how do you work to ensure that we make a tiny little profit at the end of the year?
We pray to God every day the VAT comes down. Yeah, but this is not happening. I mean, we can cry for all this problem day in, day out, but it is what it is. I think there must be other ways to make this business sustainable. I mean, coming of AI or all these problems will not stop our industry growing. We will have restaurants today, we will have a restaurant tomorrow. There will be people eating out. That's a norm of to live. There can be, I think, training, discipline. Like Kate said, if there is enough training, we know how to make this business sustain. I mean, yes, even if we can't scale the restaurants, there must be other reasons. There must be other vision to make these restaurants better or F&B business better. I don't know if I'm...
Anjum, you're the expert in scaling up. How do you ensure that that bottom line is maintained?
I'm sorry, I'm no expert this side of the world, not at all, because Samir is a rock star and many more people sitting here. So, हिंदुस्तान तो हिंदुस्तान है, थोड़ी हिंदी में बोलता हूँ. तो हिंदुस्तान तो हिंदुस्तान है, वहाँ पे तो काफ़ी चीज़ें हो रही है, GST का इनपुट नहीं मिलता है, वो तो रोने वाली बात है. I don't want to cry, okay? But I can say this to you that this kind of an input not coming for an industry so large, which employs the maximum number of people, because you can't even have a glass of water without a human interference or support. So I think that it's time that everyone all over the world starts recognizing the fact that we are here and the hospitality industry should be supported from all ends, and to the fact that it's also a kind of a global ambassador to come in. When I come to the London city, my son's just joined the business. I don't know why he joined this business, but he's been telling me and he's been taking me around. So I'm discovering through him the number of restaurants, all kinds of cuisine. So back home, we are definitely fighting a battle. This side of late has been very challenging, as you know, Sanjay. But I'm sure of the fact that good days will come, good times will come. We are looking forward to good things. Inshallah, we will be doing another restaurant soon. But there are serious headwinds and challenges, any side, that side, or here.
Thank you, Anjum. Again, I want to touch upon standardization, and I'll give you my own little story on this. My son Arjun, which I'm sure half of this room knows who he is, had actually banned me from going into the production unit because he said, "Dad, every time you go there, we lose 2 or 3 chefs." So during COVID, I said to Arjun, there's nothing to do. We're just twiddling our thumbs. Do you mind if I go into your production unit? And that's the time I standardized about 250 of my granddad's and my dad's recipes. And that gave me the confidence to scale up. And we went from 2 restaurants to 6 restaurants. And it also gave me the confidence to open a restaurant overseas because everything was standardized and was working to a real sophisticated recipe, even to the extent where you're not only looking at the temperature, you're looking at whether the lid is on or the lid is off, or every ounce is measured, and there's a systematic way of going through cooking, which I think we lack. And that's a conversation I was having with yourself, Samir, where we were talking about authenticity. And I hope you guys all take it in the right spirit, because I think 80% of this room is probably Indian. But I have to share something with you that, and this does not apply to vegetarian food. When it comes to vegetarian food, no one can beat what they do in India. It's amazing. It's better than what we do here. However, when it comes to authentic meat dishes, I might be shot for saying this, but when you've eaten in Lahore, that they haven't lost that authenticity of cooking. That long process of cooking is still practiced there. And I just think that, yes, we are plating better. Yes, we're using lobster and scallops, and we're using different products now. But we seem to be a little bit going away from that real authentic taste of how the onion, the garlic, the ginger, and what have you, that base sauce needs to be cooked. I mean, you being a Michelin star chef and Anjum, you standardizing what you do, would you agree or disagree with me on this?
Sensitive question. So obviously, over a period of time, we understand as you scale up, it becomes very difficult. So one of the things we have learned is to, truncate the menu. We started with 185 items on our menu way back in Sakinaka. So it's become almost 80. With Farinicious, I think it may be around 90. So we all know, sitting here, that 20 is 80 in any business. In this business, more. Eventually, they'll all talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's it. And then you have naan, roti, paratha, etc., biryani. So I think that one of the things which we have learned over a period of time, to simplify the process as much as possible. But I completely agree with you. I had gone to Lahore and Karachi with Saurav Ganguly, and I've seen the kind of food they sell, of course in Punjab, Amritsar, everywhere. And the flavors there are so authentic, and they hit the note. If they want something garlicky, they get you. Kasturi and in Amritsar continues to make the best dal consistently. So sometime, somewhere, I think in the process, I have no rights to talk about this because I've never traveled the path of curating food, but I can say this to you, that food has to be honest, as I said some time back. So somehow or the other, there is like we have a machir jhol, for example, or a kosha mangsho, or a malai curry. These are things where you don't need to actually chhedchhad nahi karni chahiye wahan pe. Even if you curate it and plate it wonderfully, but that note must hit you. And I think that over a period of time, people do recognize it. I think it's important to understand that once you have understood that 20 is 80, you can truncate your menu, make it easier, and simplify and de-skill the process. Very important, because skill labor is becoming very difficult. Even in India, for that matter. This side, of course, is difficult now with no work permit coming in. So how much ever you think, if you can standardize the line, chefs coming in, going out, I've learned so many things from many people, many chefs who worked with us over a period of time. So I think simplifying the process, I'm sure Samir, you will understand that, not your levels of, curating food, because they're artists. But ultimately, it's all about the fact. So if you want consistency of honest food flavors, you need to de-skill the process, but maintain authenticity.
I mean, of course, sir, you said absolutely right. The way I think, for a diner, for the experience of a diner, I think what is the end product? I think if it's beautiful end product, if it's delicious, then it's tick the box. We go to the restaurant, we go for an experience to have amazing meal and experience. I mean, authenticity for me is keeping, like we cook deep-rooted Indian food. That's what we describe our cuisine at Benares. Yes, we always feel it should be an excitement on the plate, it should be playful. Whatever we say, at the end of the day, we make sure every guest leaves with a smile on their face. And why not? If we can think differently, and if we can, today there's lots of education, there's lots of training. And like Samson sir said, it was not just about chicken tikka. And I love chicken tikka. When chicken tikka was made into a chicken tikka pie, and it changed the face of Indian cuisine. And I remember when Chef Atul Kochhar did that, and it was it was on a global stage. I mean, it was still a chicken tikka, but it was turned into something exceptional. Why not? I will still say it's authentic, it is traditional, it is what we love. Yeah? We can use, and when we talk about sustainability, using local ingredients, we live in England, so we use English produce. Yeah? I mean, if I can't get torai here, so I will love to use courgette. That doesn't make it non-authentic. I feel that way, and we are blessed to be living in this country and having such an amazing produce.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good answer. And I will second that. The ingredients we get in this country, whether it's meat, fish, whatever it is, the spices, the best spices in India are exported here because the best quality comes here. So we are not short of ingredients. And I know now the time is ticking away, so we're going to be wrapping up soon. My question to you all, and we'll start with yourself, Samir, is where do you see this industry in the next 10 years from now? And just before you answer that, I just want to give you my opinion on where I think we need to change the line of thought, because the line of thought with restaurants that opened up in the 60s and 70s and 80s was they were running their restaurant through necessity. They had nothing else to do, so they opened up an Indian restaurant, and that was their bread and butter and what have you. And this is why there's been this decline. Even in the last 10 years, it's gone from 12,000 to 8,000. My question to the industry is that why is it that we're not encouraging the next generation? We're all encouraging them to study and become accountants and doctors and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that. But we almost are discouraging them to, open more restaurants and get into this field. So give me your thoughts on that. And where do you see it in 10 years from now?
I think we are not opening restaurants just to feed our tummies. I think we are making a statement. I mean, especially Indian restaurant today, it's part of a British culture. We have spice is king, and yes, it is this difficult times where we are not discouraging. This industry is not discouraging anyone not to sink in. I think there are lots of lack of training, lack of opportunity, like we discussed earlier. And these all, when we sum this up, it makes it a little difficult to make a choice to be a cook or be a hospitality professional. But this industry was the best, will be the best, and will continue to excel. And that is a promise.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we're finishing on a positive note. Your thoughts?
Sorry, Sanjay, I have a bit of a contrary view. I can say this to you, the fact that the new generation is not wanting to be a restaurateur or a hotelier. I promise to you, we started with the Taj I was at the Rendezvous long back, Rashmi may remember this, and there used to be a break shift. Thankfully, it's a straight shift now, in India also. This side, it was never a break shift. Get up in the morning, go there at 11 o'clock, take a break at 3 o'clock, go back at 7 o'clock until 12 o'clock, till the closure. So there are so many options. and I can say this to you, that all catering institutes in Calcutta or anywhere in India are getting less people going in. It's not the question of the fact that this will not be there, because ek to thoda keeda chahiye. You need a kind of a, thoda bug, like Sanjeev Kapoor, very dear friend, keeps on telling me, why do you do this? Why do you waste your time? Return on, time invested is so low. Why do you want to do that? But it's a different story, and then he has a, point of view. That's a point of view. But we all sitting here enjoy our work. And we know that the biggest payoff of this kind of work is when somebody comes and talks about you, talks about the food, the satisfaction and the emotion of having eaten good food, spent good time, business of happiness, and that gives you joy. So as long as that gives you joy, there's no watch that you look for. But I mean, I'm sorry I gave you a contrary view, because there are, of course, many people who want to come in, but then beyond the point, because of the options of the careers which are coming in, so jab tak keeda nahi hoga, to koi isme ghusega nahi hai.
Thank you ever so much. Samson, your thoughts?
This industry is going to stay forever, as Smear said. I will give you example. Maybe everybody will be agree with me. When people go on holidays, UK people, and 1 week or maybe 10 days or 7 days, when they come back, what they do the first thing? They go their local restaurant and they say, oh, I was missing my curry. So thanks to every single of you guys, you have injected spices in all the UK nation, and they cannot live without, Indian food and, and spices. So this industry, will carry on to grow. Yes, the number has gone down, but the quality is gone up. So it will be always there, and the demand will be always there.
Thank you. Thank you, Samson. Kate?
I think, to echo what everybody else has said, I think consumers are going to get more worldly, they're going to get more educated, they're going to look at more TikTok videos. So I think we'll get more regional cuisines coming into the market. So it'll be more competitive, but those that can give a really good, not only really good food, but a really good experience will rise to the top.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, and thank you very much.